Episode commencing in 3, 2, 1. Episode initiated.
It's time for a super space-time adventure with humanity among the stars, fighting in giant transforming mech attack planes in this week's protocultural episode of Cosmic Dimension Fortress Macrit. This is your Zentradi hottie with a giant body, Patrick here, aka your GM, welcoming you back to another episodic anime episode, and joining me in using the experimental fold system to traverse this wacky, vast universe are my 5 friends and your co-pilots. To my far left, he's using a song to unite all the peoples. It's Jabert jabbering away as Jem from Minmay.
Hey, Patrick.
Across the digital table from me, slap a giant UN Spacey sticker on his vehicle and let it transform into a mech. It's Miles making believe as VF Redacted.
Good evening.
To my right are lovable ace, pilot, hero, ready to do battle. While it's Tyler talking as, well, it just says Tyler is Tyler.
I'm here as myself today.
That's so odd.
Woo! Special guest, just me.
To my immediate left, he's a full-fledged Fokker and fighter pilot. We have Drew dying to play Roy Zilixthel.
I hope Prater didn't eat too much pineapple salad.
All right, you're going to explain that one. And across from him, she is a myclone version of her larger self. It's none other than Rebecca rolling with Mini Asher and Sky.
Hello.
True, it was Macross.
Don't say it like the Canadians.
You'd think I'd know anything about Macross at this point, but I don't.
I choose not to, says Rebecca.
I'm sure I've heard all about it, but it goes in one ear and out the other. Sorry, Drew.
It's okay.
Yeah, we're already in the 80s with these intros, and I think I'm gonna run out of sci-fi TV shows for this season at the rate that we're going. We've gone through like 4 decades.
We're at 82 today. 82 is still.
There's a lot of 80s.
Yeah, and there's a lot in the 90s.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
I think you're in trouble.
How's it going, everybody?
Pretty good.
I don't know. The nonsense you've pulled lately, I don't know really what to say to you.
The nonsense I pulled. Tyler. You see, radiation is bad, Tyler. Radiation, no good.
I shouldn't blame you for the horrendous radiation rules that I will be campaigning to be reformed permanently come the new edition.
You're running for president of Starfinder.
Yeah. I managed to get prime executive in our campaign. I don't think that's too much of a stretch for me to extend that and just become the dictator of all Starfinder.
You gotta get on the ground floor on Starfinder 2nd edition real quick.
Yeah.
Be like, take out radiation quickly.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing there's no more radiation in the entire rest of the campaign. This was, for some reason, the only instance of it, and you'll never have to worry about it. And in fact, never use your environmental protections on your armor ever again, because you're not going to need them.
Sounds legit.
And they're worthless.
Huge
Who cares
relief.
if you get a +4? It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Essentially, what Starfinder is like, oh, do you have no con? Oh, do you have a negative to your fort saves? Why don't you just sit down and die? That's what they're saying.
Or even if you have a very good one, why don't you also sit down and die?
Yeah, or just sit down and throw up for a few hours.
You're not great at rolling, right? I mean, we got a mini cliffhanger. I guess I was planning last week's episode was going to be the last episode of book 1, but we have a little bit more to do apparently.
More to talk about.
Yeah, there's sadly a little bit more, bit of a cliffhanger, bit more to do. So, are you guys ready to get back into it?
We ought to.
Let's go.
It's so awkward. We haven't. The 6 of us have not played together in a little while. We also took like a bit of a break, so it just feels like we're starting this podcast over.
My heart was shattered into so many pieces that it took exactly 30 days to reassemble me back into the human being that I now am. So we can finally play again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this week's episode, you did level up to level 3, but unlike most every single level up we've ever done in this podcast's history, we are not going to start with this week talking about that. We are also not going to do a last time on. Last time on, we're going to talk about
You should have been paying attention if you want to know what happened last time on.
While we're playing it. We are starting this week's barn burner cliffhanger of an episode, and we're going to save that level 3 character discussion for after this week's episode. So this week's episode does not start on the planet of New Horizons or New Galarion, not in the dank geothermal laboratories of the Marizah facility where we last found our characters. Instead, we are going all the way back to the Pact about a year earlier, back to the planet of Eox. The planet Eox, the scoured gray world that lacks a sufficient atmosphere, lacks warmth, but is not in lack of peoples, for it is indeed populated with the ranks of the undead, creatures whose minds continue after their bodies have been declared legally not alive. We pan across the surface here to a massive crater taking up an entire hemisphere wedge of the planet, the immense scar of the Fasanora Basin. The pit of magma and radiation is home to only wild Elikoths and undead creatures, many of which even the citizens of Eox would consider those who live there probably not city friendly, that live in the wilds there. High up on the mountain ridge overlooking this basin, there is a temple that has stood for centuries as a beacon against the entirety of the rest of the planet. In fact, the entire concept of Eox. It is the sole church of Pharasma on the entire undead world. For the Lady of Graves has devotees all across the Pact, and while she can go by many other names in alien civilizations and identities, on Eox, where people's fate is rarely ever unchanged, the dead are brought back to unlife kind of as a matter of business. The Pharasmans indeed live here on the edge of society. The priesthood's latest act was to take charge of the many dead from the Sivian devastation arc, the legions that did not make it out alive, and return many of them here to Eox for a burial in flames in the lava in the basin below. And we watch now as the mournful procession of a dozen Pharasman priests escort hundreds of still bodies on hovering stretchers across the fields of the dead here. Their slow pace would mean this trip would take potentially weeks to complete, but time is something that they are in endless supply of here, where a world where, weeks of light are in a single day. As this progression continues, though, we see one dead body in the pile begin to stir. Impossibly, limbs begin to shake as the body convulsively kind of jumps and starts. One of the priests rushes over with an oxygen mask, first aid supplies, something they keep with them. All these bodies had been checked, of course, each and every one of them completely negative for all signs of life. But this wasn't the first time that Pharasma had decided that the fate of one who was dead was not their final fate. As we watch, the figure sitting up, unzipped from their black ceremonial bag, is the elven form, none other than Praedyr. And though their eyes perhaps are glowing purple, black and purple, they seem maybe further away from their body than perhaps they could possibly be in that moment. Indeed, their eyes are obsidian pools of darkness. And as we snap back to the present, in the power core of the Marizah geothermal lab, the cursed laboratory, that is exactly what Praedyr's eyes look right now. Jamfram, you're almost on your knees, sickened with radiation. We see maybe some recently healed wounds on Redacted's eye, their face awash in purple blood. Asher and Sky may be alive and saved only by the sacrifice of one other. And finally, Zilixthel, your normally scaled arm is now raw and barren, as you seem to have infused some of your spell scale nanites flesh onto the corpse of Praedyr, maybe in a last ditch attempt to save their life. But yeah, Pradier, indeed, dead. The last thing that perhaps went through his necrosaturated, radiation-addled mind was that in all of his many visions of the future, it was perhaps true what the Pharasman priests taught him. Nobody would be able to alter the time and manner of their death, even if they were able to see it. The corpse of Pradier that you see before you stands up, its arm a mutated shell of charred nanites, formed into a grotesque image of a black tentacle, maybe with like pustules instead of suckers, just like giant blobs of what looks like the same stuff that Zilix makes their weapons out of. Pradier rises up with its jaw agape, its eyes wide, showing nothing but blackness, and its mouth, it seems to be saying something. Why don't you make me to start off? We'll start simple with a perception check.
Right.
I was telling you guys I started watching for Halloween the Universal monster movies beforehand, and this is very much a Frankenstein scene of this corpse coming back to animated unlife. Oh, okay. It looks like we've rolled perception checks here, and we've got a success. Jamfram, maybe the closest besides Zilix, behind Pradier. You hear the body just croaking out the word, "Cursed, Doctor, cursed, please help." This reanimation, you see all the color has like drained out of the skin of Pradier, and he was already kind of like a pasty elf, but underneath the skin you see now deep black and purple veins have kind of sprouted up. This is almost exactly what it looked like when you came upon Balco Unctar months ago. Indeed, it seems like his body is that of perhaps a corpse folk, but yeah, just like Balco, you all are looking at this thing, this whatever this is, knowing, perhaps hoping that Pradier is still somewhere inside the shell of a body. Asher, I mean, how is Asher taking this? So you're almost dead as well, Rebecca. Your character. What do you think, seeing this happen now to someone that you're very close with?
I mean, I think Asher is understandably feeling very complex set of emotions.
Anger.
Obviously very hurt.
Oh.
Obviously very angry that this would happen to her friend, but also guilty perhaps because, they did have the opportunity to potentially help, but perhaps at the risk of their own life. So they made a choice, and I think some part of them feels very guilty about that. I think at this point in time,
or about what Pradier did for you.
About Pradier, yeah.
Yeah. Is there any part of Asher that's afraid, seeing perhaps this is what could have happened to you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a grotesque, creature in front of them. I mean.
Well, I'm saying
that was before he was turned into an undead critter.
Oh goodness. Well,
what are you driving at, Patrick?
Tyler's forgetting. Well, I'm saying, like, you, if Pradier hadn't stabilized you, maybe it would have been you instead. Maybe you would have been the one in this position. Well, what I'm trying to drive at is, even if you felt fear, it does not seem to be a reaction that Sky is exhibiting right now, or like you're not getting any fight or flight kind of flares from your symbiote.
Is that a question or a statement?
That's a statement. I figured
Okay.
I kind of interpret some Sky stuff. You can interpret
Yeah,
it
which
too,
I think would be, settling for Asher,
yeah, at the very least,
Again, I still think that they would feel very guilty, both of them.
Yeah.
And yeah.
but perhaps
angry at the situation.
when you went up to Balco, you did feel something similar. You weren't getting warning signs immediately. Maybe something in Asher can tell that there is still a possibility of stopping this from happening. I mean, but what you see with your guys' eyes is indeed an undead monstrosity, but it doesn't seem to have turned completely yet. There's kind of like a newborn babe look to these colorless eyes as it kind of stares around the room. Everyone in the party here is going to have a chance to say something, or maybe even do something to affect Pradier. I would say at least once. But if you have an effective tact with perhaps how you want to go about this, of course you can make a couple of rolls. Just like Balco Unktar, you can kind of walk them back from the edge. What you say is going to affect your dice rolls. You'll get bonuses, I guess maybe negatives, depending on how you interact and if you're able to meaningfully connect with the mind of your former colleague here. Someone you've worked with for over, I mean, we're going on like 6 months at this point. Your prime executive person who's, pulled your butts out of the fire again and again in your jobs, your professions. So yeah, you guys can make appeals and pick a skill check or some kind of ability. And if you think it's going to, how you think it's going to apply to helping Pradier kind of get back to themselves. I'm going to be straight with you about the DC here as well, because I think we already did it in the Balco fight, but maybe you didn't know the exact number you're trying to hit. For most of these skills, it is going to be about DC 17. If you pick something a little outlandish, it might be a bit higher, like DC 22. And all you need to do is hit 3 successes before you hit 3 failures. So minimum, you guys have like 4 rolls you're going to make here. So that's why I wanted you guys to at least do one of them, and maximum 5. So that keep that in mind. Yeah. Does anybody want to start with talking to Pradier or doing something along those lines?
I think Zilix, because he was right there and feels immediate guilt about what has happened, because he, is going through a lot of stuff with, is he at fault for what's happening here? He's just trying to save his friend who saved his life, and he feels guilty that he wasn't able to save him and all of that.
You've never seen the spell scale disease interact at all with anyone that it was not Ixtanky. So this is super weird what is happening and forming this greasy black tentacle on, I'm going to say it was his right arm. That's what I was imagining in my mind.
So yeah, he's gonna, cursed doctor. What doctor? Do you need a doctor? And I could maybe roll like either a medicine or a life science. Yeah,
I mean, if you want to do that, do you want to try and use that to try and figure out what he was saying there?
Yeah,
you could do. I mean, if that's a good one for you, I would also say culture.
Yeah, culture's going to be a no on that one, gang.
Okay. I feel like that's something you take every season, so I just assume that you have it.
Zilix isn't very cultural.
Oh. Yeah. The accent that you've picked seems to say the opposite. I don't know. I imagine if you have no culture, you got a redneck twang to you. Not saying they don't have culture. They have their own. Right. Go, make a medicine check. See if you can figure out what exactly is indeed happening. There you go.
20. Well, 13 on the die.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, it's not one that I had on my list here. So this is going to be a failure unless perhaps you want to make some connections or say something else to our friend Balco, or our Balco.
Our friend Balco. Whoa.
Our Balco-ized friend.
There we go.
He's clearly got like the page for Balco Unktar open in front of him.
Oh, why would I have that open? I don't know why. The stats for a corpse folk envoy. Yeah, no, I'll give you a bonus if you can like tie together perhaps Pradier's background with what he's just said here.
Pradier, is there? I know you were on Eox. Is there some sort of something they treated you with, something that could have made this happen?
Please help. That is That's unfortunately going to be our first fail here, unless you want to use a book reroll. You got those going for you as well. We're back to we're technically in book 2.
Are we at the start of the book now?
I mean, it's technically right on the cusp there.
Yeah, Zilix doesn't know, and he would continue to throw everything, but he's kind of.
What did you roll? You rolled a 13, so I mean it's pretty good.
I could try to acrobatics him out of this. Just shake him.
Can you imagine someone dancing so well that your soul returns to your body?
Only
Yes,
Asher could pull that off.
I could believe that. I have seen the Fat Boy Slim Christopher Walken music video, and that would bring me right back.
Great call.
What do you want to do, Drew? Leave it to lie, or heroically try and save Prey Deer?
What could cursed doctor mean? Dr. Cursed. I can't make heads or tails of it. And I have a tail and a head.
Does anyone want to
lie?
Does everybody want to help Drew out? Because maybe he doesn't recall.
Is it medicine?
No, who that is? Dr. Cursed?
Yeah, I think it's come up before. It's just a pop quiz of like who remembers Tyler's backstory. His like 40-page backstory that he wrote.
I don't think, spoiler alert, I don't think it has anything to do with my
Oh, Dr. Cursed is the guy in the laboratory.
There we go.
It's not Cursed, it's Kurst. That's how I have it written down.
Cursed, Dr. Cursed.
Indeed, yeah. Maybe if you realize that, you know what? That'll count as our last time on as well. If you guys want a episode reroll, I think you might. now just looking at the rolls, maybe you'll need it. Do you want to use that, Drew, instead of your book reroll? In I guess episode 0, book 2.
I mean, you've got a good bonus to it. You might as well.
Yeah, I mean, certainly I won't roll exactly the same thing, right?
Or less than a 13.
All right, why y'all?
What are the odds of that?
Why are y'all doing this to this poor man?
Oh, goodness gracious! Oh my gosh, that is just a success.
Yes!
22 on the dice. Yeah, I didn't want to CURSED you guys on your first attempt here and start off with a failure. That's just a success on a harder roll, and perhaps once it triggers that you've heard the name KRST before. Indeed, this might have very little to do with Prey Deer if he's talking about something that's going on in this lab. And as you look over the wound that maybe you thought you inflicted, it seems like the scales are not mutating Prey Deer's arm, but trying to like heal it, trying their best to undo what is happening on his other, extremities, like the life draining out of them. But
it's the Doctor Who thing.
They're fighting death and they are not winning. Okay, well, congratulations. Now, before Zilix does anything else, I would like the rest of you to try to attempt something. And once again, it could be a skill. I haven't really thought about your guys' abilities. If you think you have an ability that can work, let me know. Hurt, Smiles,
pilot him into a place that'll cure him.
I will.
I'm going to drive real fast in a circle.
I'll walk up to Prey Deer and I'm using my walking stick. I've taken that back, and I'm using my walking stick to prop myself up. And I walk up to him and I put an arm on his shoulder and I say, he's very tall. I'm very short. I put an arm on his thigh, and I say, Prey Deer, stay with us, Prey Deer. You're the leader in all this, and we need you to see us through, to guide us. We wouldn't have made it this far without you, and I don't know if we can make it any farther than this if we don't have you with us. I'm barfing and crying.
I've never seen such accurate role play with the radiated nonsense that's going on.
Yeah, so I'm rolling diplomacy. I'm going to try to roll diplomacy because my other skill that I could roll is athletics.
I'll let Tyler determine this. Tyler, do you think that Pradier would be moved by both tears and vomit. this speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm factoring in the vomit because I'm sickened and I'm taking a penalty to this.
Yeah.
So like, I don't mean to throw up on your shoes.
Absolutely. I think he would almost be inspired because knowing that Jamfram's like on death's door, Jamfram's
Extremely
best bet
sick.
is to leave, to just hobble away as far as possible. So
I won't
in fact,
leave
he's
you.
hanging in there.
I won't leave you, Pradier.
All right. Well,
Exactly.
we're talking about a +3 bonus here.
Okay.
To this roll.
All right. So -1 for sickened.
I don't
So
think
here we
you're-
go.
You're sickened. I thought that was one that Pradier took away from you.
I think it's come back.
Yeah, I think.
I can't
Did we talk about it coming back?
I think that might have been a thing that happened in our at-home game that somebody removed sickened from me. So those a different
I
character who's
definitely
on death's
removed
door.
I definitely removed it from you. I used something, but what I can't remember is like, so when you first got fully irradiated, I removed it, but then we came in here and more nonsense happened.
I'm just so glad that Patrick didn't make the last time on. What were all the radiation conditions everybody was on?
I think I joked about it in
you
a previous
did.
episode.
And as soon as I logged on, I was like, oh no.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be
So-
surprised. You have so many terrible negatives stacked against you.
Yeah, so I'll just roll it and see what it is. We'll see. We'll see what the number says. Maybe the number says don't worry about it. Maybe the number says you're the best at this.
Yeah, we cool.
I'm doing the best at this. I'm not doing the best at this.
Ooh, 7 on the dice.
Oh boy, I'm gonna need that. I think I'm gonna need that book reroll, gang.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Bird, don't do
knock it out right now. I mean, hey.
Knock it out.
I'm touched.
Oh, a two. I rolled a 2. So
Oh,
it's good.
no.
It's good that I went ahead and used the reroll now, you see, rather than be in a fight and then be like, I gotta make this happen, and then I roll a 2 and I was like, oh no.
If it makes you feel better, even though this is a failure, somewhere
success in your
Pradier
heart.
is still moved. Yes, I may not.
Oh.
Yeah, he may not be moved towards a more self-realization, but he's still moved.
This first roll, 7. It seemed like Pradier was listening to you, but the words do not connect home. Maybe different words would, but that is 1 success, 1 failure here.
Okay, Asher will step forward,
Mhm.
also feeling very guilty. And Asher is going to reach out her hand gingerly toward Pradier's scary, scary body, and is going to gently place her hand on his, let's say, forearm, and a little piece of sky is going to implant in said forearm.
Like his good arm or his tentacle arm.
His good arm.
I'm not touching the icky one.
Oh wow!
No, in his good arm. And this is called tattoo transference. This is a racial ability that I have to give a piece of my sky to a friend. This does give Pradier now the ability to use stabilize, just like Sky can. But as she does this, Asher is going to say, Sky keeps me grounded, and I hope that they can help you find yourself again, Pradier. We need your help to finish our quest in this strange laboratory. Return to us, Pradier. And I would like to potentially roll mysticism to see if I can understand what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's an easier DC, and you've got a bonus.
Awesome.
Nice bonus.
And I figure Sky, even though technically they don't have any kind of mystical power, I imagine they can help run diagnostics or something.
Okay, so another +3 bonus, and that is a second success.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, indeed. You taking a look, you can sense that there is something else inside this aura. It seems like internally there is like Sky is almost reticent to transfer over. As they get closer, kind of sense a malevolence somewhere inside that is wrestling with Pradier's aura. But as the symbiote connects, and at one point you guys are connected via Sky, you can kind of like feel this as well. Your aura in Pradier's kind of meld for a moment. And indeed, it seems like Pradier is there for just a moment. Tyler, you get like maybe a momentary glimpse of control. It feels like you are deep down in a hole somewhere, but you can feel your mouth. You can feel there is very stagnant air in your lungs, and you have the ability to say something. Tyler, what would Pradier like to say here? Yep, you have like, a phrase or two, sentence or two.
I don't know.
It seems to be working, whatever they are doing to you here.
I think maybe, imagine this would come out forced because, it's kind of conflicting things trying to control the same body. And so I think you guys would hear, especially, I guess, because this is Asher and Sky particularly communicating with him in that moment. He would say like, Asher, I'm here. There's something else pulling at me, but I can hear you.
Redacted. Miles, what do you think you got here? Do you want to? You were out in the hallway still. Is Redacted moving into Pradier's side?
Well, how else is he going to probe me?
As they say, you got to keep them probulated.
So, Redacted misguidedly probably thinks the best way to bring Pradier back is to maybe confess something that might annoy Pradier.
Oh.
sounds like a great time for a bonus.
So Redacted would probably walk in, no emotions on the face, and will then say something along the lines of, 2 weeks ago, you lost something of value. This being took it. It was the sandwich you left in the refrigerator. And it is important that you know that it was subpar. The spread choice was abysmal. The bread was toasted terribly. And it pains this being to know that you will never be able to create a competent lunch now that you are lost. And then walks away.
Are you not trying to bring him back at all? I'm so confused.
In Redacted's mind, the idea of just being obnoxious, the hope is that kind of like knee-jerk reaction to would bring Pradier back. I'm not saying Miles is not saying that this is a broad idea. This is just how Redacted would go about it. And
if this works, oh boy, I would say maybe what kind of skill are you thinking here? Intimidate? Culture?
I was thinking either culture or stealth, because he stole the sandwich and Pradier never found out about it.
All right, well you
oh goodness gracious.
If you do roll high enough, this would just be Pradier's pure rage pushing aside the other entity fighting within him.
We might still have to fight. We might still have to fight pure.
Yeah.
Pradier jumps on Redacted.
Pradier might come back, but that doesn't mean we're out of combat.
Yeah, make me a stealth check is fine. Let's see if this actually happened or if you were lying about it. Oh boy.
It's a 14.
Yeah, you've rolled, it looks like twice here.
Why does my thing keep rolling twice?
It doesn't matter. Either of them were a failure.
Oh, this is it.
I'll do the reroll.
Well, I mean, you
don't do that.
You have rolled twice, but no, if you wanna use your book reroll.
Did I use my book reroll last time? My book one reroll?
I think everyone did.
Yeah, I think
I think this is the first time.
That sounds right.
Every person did. No, but if you want to use,
sure, why not?
You're here.
I always forget to do it anyway. So
the change you want to see in this sci-fi world.
Oh
no, we're on bubble territory.
We're still 2 and 2.
No.
This is it. Failure, succeed.
I was really hoping that would be the one.
The sandwich?
Yeah, the sandwich.
Yeah, you see like some...
I'd come back to choke you for a sandwich in a heartbeat.
You see some herky, jerky kind of motion test. the body of Pradier, the eyes go kind of like black again. Maybe they were starting to clear for a moment, and it calls out and says, "Darkness encroaches. The harvest grows near." Yeah.
Harvest yourself a better lunch.
We're on the bubble. It is pass or fail time. Who wants to be the one responsible for either saving Pradier or losing them forever? I guess your characters don't know this, but I've told you guys the stakes here, so you do. I guess I'm talking to you.
Okay, so let's talk this out. We know Dr. Cursed is involved. Is Dr. Cursed the being that is inhabiting or trying to take Pradier over?
Not really sure. It's not someone that you've interacted with before. I mean, that they were at this lab like 100 years ago, so you're not really. I don't understand why that would be something that they're saying.
I was hoping that something would jump out and be like super obvious, like, oh, if we flip this lever in the room, then the ooze goes away or something.
Only other thing besides this very jury-rigged, wires going in all direction power core in the room is the recently redeaded undead corpse of this person that was seemingly also taken over by whatever this malevolence was. The body that is lying kind of near the door right now. That was fighting you last week.
They don't have a name tag on, do they?
You want to go over and
actually
investigate?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, taking a look here. Indeed, it maybe pulling off the welding mask. You see, almost a complete skeleton. There's little bits of desiccated flesh clinging to it here and there, but it seems like almost mummified from perhaps the heat in this room. And if it's been here for like 100 years, that reads in the clothing, which is torn and faded in parts. And as you undo their arms, maybe take it off of their weapon, across their stained jumpsuit, you can kind of push some dust away and read the name Felivar listed on their suit of armor.
So that was Marnie Felivar, who was the chief engineer, who refused to leave the station.
Mm-hmm. And you know that they indeed, before they started fighting you, said something about a culling and a shadow coming to wipe out life. And what else? What else do you guys know about what's going on here? Anything else? I don't know. I'm asking more than trying to lead you on, but
this all sounds similar to the stuff that the people who are in the town, like the subgroup whose name I can't remember, that had the idols.
Cult of the Gnomon.
Yeah, but they seem to be inspired by a huckster, by a con man. Not sure why that would be of importance right now. Who wants to try one more time to connect with Pradier?
You want me to pick since I'm the one dying?
Well,
I don't want people to have to live with this responsibility, I suppose. If someone feels like their character would step up, that's fine. Otherwise, I can wrap one of my tentacles around you and
I would suggest anybody, but maybe if you're feeling unlucky this evening, pick someone that still has their book reroll.
Oh no,
Asher does.
Rebecca does.
And we are now connected through Sky.
That's true.
I've got Sky. You've got Sky. We've all got Sky.
Truly, you don't have to use your reroll.
Yeah, Drew, you do as well. Yeah, I gave you a little sode.
Oh, I just don't know what to roll, because I could do life science or physical science, but I don't know. This seems more mystical, but we've already rolled mysticism.
Yeah. Do you want a suggestion?
I'd love a suggestion.
So this is I think.
Oh, well, just let me first dispel. You can do the same roll again if you'd like, or a roll that someone else has done. Try and figure something else out or connect another way. Just FYI, but I would like to hear your suggestion, Tyler. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, well, I don't know you guys' skills. That's the only kind of problem here. But what I think is, I think this is Marnie Felivar. That's what it seems like it is, trying to take over. You could try to intimidate them out of the body, like essentially bully them out, call him out by name. Say, you are dead. You are gone. Be gone from this person. That's
Good old fashioned exorcism.
You could go full exorcism on this. I don't know if does anybody have pocket holy water? That'd be huge here.
I got this holy stick.
I've just got pieces.
Oh, dude,
start beating
Jabert hit me. Jabert hit me with the stick.
I don't think that's going to avoid combat, though. Is the problem?
I think Jabert falls unconscious if this happens.
Oh yeah.
If I try to do that, I start barfing.
Forgot about that. Yeah, you
I'm gonna take a move action attack. Is that?
Yeah. Well, any standard action, I think he has to roll or he loses it. It's like a massive negative.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's the approach I was thinking of because I have a really high intimidate score. I don't know if somebody else has a really high intimidate score and they could try it. But
I have nothing in intimidate. So
what's Zillick's highest skill?
Acrobatics, athletics, medicine, which I've already rolled, and physical science and life science.
Okay.
Yeah, not great. So, but what I'm thinking is because it seems like does Pradier want us to know about Dr. Kirst, or does Marnie Felivar want us to know about Dr. Kirst?
Pradier doesn't know anything about Dr. Kirst.
So
That would be Marnie.
So that's got to be Marnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's figure out the puzzle, gang. There's a puzzle here.
Well, I mean, Marnie refused to leave, like, probably because they hate Dr. Kirst or something, right? Like, right?
It could be because they hate Dr. Kirst. I mean, they're obsessed with this shadow, whatever that is. It could be that their obsession with seeing the shadow will overcome, or this event, that obsession is keeping their soul on the material plane instead of letting it pass on. You could try to speak to them about that it's okay to pass on, but you guys don't have bluff. I could say you could lie to them, but
I
you don't have bluff.
I have a +6 to intimidate and a +6 to diplomacy. That's all I've got.
I will say that diplomacy is, I think, the easiest DC and probably the easiest to get bonuses for, because you guys can, role play, hopefully something. I mean, this is either the final thing that you're ever going to say to Pradier, or, the thing that saves their existence. So I would keep that in mind.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay, Patrick. You can say Keister.
save their fanny.
So, I think the hard thing is, and what you don't know is if you would get more bonuses talking directly to Pradier or more bonuses talking directly to Marnie Felivar, trying to convince her to move on past whatever it is holding her here, or trying to encourage Pradier to like overcome this hostile takeover.
Yeah. Right now there's like these black spell scales in the form of a tentacle on like one of his arms, and the other one is lit up with sky tattoo, like etching itself into the undead flesh. And indeed, the body of Pradier looks very, very torn, almost like it's his very soul is being ripped from the flesh. Had a fun season fighting mole beetles, and we've come to like the most dramatic thing that's ever happened in this podcast history.
Right. So, I don't know.
What do you think? Who wants to step forward?
I'll do it.
Oh no, you used your reroll. Don't
Sorry,
you?
I was writing a speech.
Oh,
okay, good.
Oh,
okay.
Do you want to take 5?
Okay, well,
We can
if
take
she's
a little
writing a
break.
speech, she's not allowed to use her book reroll. But
No, I already wrote it down.
Okay.
That's what I was doing.
All right.
You're not going to laugh at me again, Patrick, are you?
I'm muting myself, and I just want you to speak from the heart. Rebecca's heart, Asher and Sky's, everyone's.
All right. This is a diplomacy attempt. Marnie, if you are holding on to Pradier, please, I beg of you, let him go. And let go of this physical plane. You've suffered for too long. Allow yourself and my friend peace.
I'm very sad to say you get no bonus.
What?
Oh,
What?
Did I say the wrong thing?
Oh, she don't want no peace. Marnie
I
don't want no
misread?
peace.
yeah. That's okay. We
All right.
knew it was a 50-50 risk. You could still roll high
I can
enough.
try anyway.
Oh
Yeah.
And roll 2.
Ooh.
I can re-roll.
Reroll. Natural
Only go
two.
up.
You're not allowed to re-roll
It
it.
can almost only go up.
Almost only go up.
I knew starting tonight we were going to be at the whim of the dice, like how the rest of the season progresses. Oh, it's so painful watching it happen in real time. These dice are trying to kill Tyler again. Oh no!
I mean, for real,
Oh.
don't use your re-roll.
No, you definitely got to now. You definitely got
have
to.
two very different minds.
Great.
But
Here goes my re-roll.
Oh, I'm sweating so bad.
Is it going?
I'm biting my knuckles. My knuckles are so white.
20?
Is that?
That is a full-on success.
Oh.
14 on the dice.
It's a dice miracle.
Yeah.
A dice miss miracle.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You fail to inspire or kick Marnie out so bad. The inky blackness fades from their eyes. And for some reason, the first thing, Tyler, that you hear when you come back from the other side is your friends are calling you Marnie.
It's your nickname now.
Yeah.
Radier. It feels like you're rising out of the ocean after like having not been able to breathe for quite some time as your eyes slowly glow like a liminal purple. The pupils underneath coming out from this black fluid. Tyler, Pradier returns to control of this corpse, though definitely 100% more dead than they were before. What does Pradier say when you get back control of your senses, back control of your body?
I think Prater would look around, do the classic like appendages in front of his face, except one is a black tentacle, and he just says, "I'm back. Is this right?" And he sort of kind of looks around at everyone, and although they can't necessarily feel it, his precog powers are like warping out. They're there and they're not there. He doesn't see the world as he kind of maybe fully saw it in the same way as when he was alive.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, you do have like a single hit point, I think, when this happens. So you're also extremely weak coming back from death. Yeah, you maybe stagger a little bit. You still have Jamfram's sword, but as you kind of maybe hit this power core next to you and drop down to your knees, the spell scale nanites kind of flit their way back to Zilix, revealing your right arm's flesh is like completely seared red where they were trying to like burrow into it. So there's scarring, there's some brackish blood here, and then your left arm is really really nice. You've got you start regaining color in the skin, and you've got a cool new tattoo going on.
got a cool new tattoo.
Yeah, you got a little bit of sky.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, but I really they played around a lot with your arms while you were gone, Tyler.
I know I wasn't around.
We did what we had to do.
I think maybe you hear him like while he's on his knees, he's whispering maybe a few, like, I don't know how much we went into this, but Pradier is a pretty devout Pharasma guy. And so I think you hear him saying her name like a little bit, maybe saying a few prayers. He's looking at his body. There's a lot of confusion, some weeping, as he tries to kind of reassess his reality, which is warped.
Not the only thing.
In the moment, while he may not understand what he is, he feels like he's sort of monstrous, and so he's trying to tackle that while he's also just saying kind of prayers, but he's also very weak, so they are hitched. They don't come out very well.
Yeah, I think maybe you lose consciousness for like a moment here, but you're obviously like your body functions have come back. What does everyone say to seeing this? It seems like you've indeed done what you were not able to do with Belko, which is kind of talk them back away from whatever was happening to them.
I think Asher would fall to the ground in relief and exhaustion because still at 1 hit point.
Hey, join the club.
Same.
Zilix would stab him with a healing serum.
I die.
Redacted.
1 point of stab damage. That's the order of operation.
What if you did take one HP of damage every time you used one?
Are you saying you want to house rules up some new?
I love it.
I thought
Please
they
do.
were hypospray style in the rulebook.
No, they're bum injections.
In the Cosmic Crit universe, I think we've always talked about injections.
Yeah.
magical drug injections. But yeah, I mean, if you want to pay 10% more for the spray version, the boozy spray version that they get in the NRI of Absalom for like little scrapes and boo-boos, that's fine. But yeah, so they're Pradier's back. Cause for celebration. No one has fully died yet, but they do look very similar to Belko Unctar. They're looking corpse folk-esque. Tyler, I think we talked about this a little bit and talked about changing up some base stats here to maybe better closely align with undead stats. The Barai and Starfinder are probably the closest to what's going on here. Corporeal undead of your former form, your former elven form. The elven ability modifiers are +2 dex, +2 int, and -2 con.
Yeah.
Barai are +2 charisma, -2 wisdom, +2 con, which
He's the healthiest boy in town.
Is a bit of a swing in terms of constitution and HP, but
yeah.
Have you already looked at what Pradier would look like with these changes? I think elves also have like less base hit points.
Oh wait, yes, yeah, they have 3 fewer. So Pradier definitely looks bigger, stronger, dumber, I suppose. Less life, less, but also like I figure I can't. It's hard to reconcile the plus the chaw bonus with the tentacle arm.
Oh, well, the tentacle was his spell skills, and they kind of burn away and leave your
those don't
arm.
go away. That doesn't go away, Patrick.
do you have some kind of? Do you want to keep the nanites on one arm and the tattoo on another?
Yeah. I think because it's kind of like you said. The nanites on the tentacle arm were trying to heal. I think the tentacle is a better representation of that than humanoid arm.
So is Praetor just going to become a Voltron of this cast?
You have to replace his legs with 2 wheels.
He's carrying Jam from
vehicle.
sword. He's got a piece of some nanites. He's got a piece of the tattoo.
But, with these changes, precogs are their prime ability score is Dex.
Mm-hmm.
And so he can't see the timeline like he used to. His abilities are just straight up not as good currently. And I mean, he was kind of a light-skinned person, but now I imagine a dark gray complexion and white-haired. And
we talked about this already a bit with Seth. About him having to maybe update the art a little bit.
He's absolutely gonna have to update the art. Yeah,
I didn't want to keep the tentacle as a
the tentacle
full-time thing. Okay,
tentacle is a full-time thing.
Maybe it can work a compromise similar to Zilix's weapon. Like you can form a tentacle.
Listen, tentacles are very useful appendages in a variety of ways.
You got all kinds of work. You got a tentacle arm.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't get with like a regular 5-fingered.
You know how easy it is to do the hand gestures for spells just with a tentacle? It's so simple. It's one-handed. It's a better system.
Right. So indeed, you've shut down this facility and its sole remaining worker, Marnie Felivar, whose body lies, completely destroyed. Maybe you guys aren't entirely certain what fate befell this facility 100 years ago, but whatever it was, indeed, Marnie didn't escape it, and perhaps the same thing that happened to Balco and Pradier is what took heart in their body, transformed them. What do you guys want to do? I don't have anything else prepared for this part, so it's really up to you. Do you want to stay here? Do you want to head back to town?
I definitely don't want to stay here.
Why?
Can't we at least get a little 10-minute going?
10-minute rest.
I mean, I have no RP. Do other people have RP? Because I don't. I'm out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got plenty of RP, SP, HP. I got it all. I just have no standard actions.
Talk to them about lifting anything right now. Jamfram's on a little bit of sabbatical.
I'm on a move and swift action only diet right now.
But won't that get worse and worse the longer we're away from medical care? Like, what if we decide?
We need to get to medical care.
Leave.
I need a doctor right away.
Yeah.
If only you guys had some kind of vehicle that could get you back to town quickly.
If only there was a Dr. Cursed around here somewhere.
Right. So heading back to Viridian Colony, it sounds like. Let's do it. Redacted, are you okay leaving immediately and zipping everyone back to town in the middle of the night?
Yeah. That would probably use as a data pad to send Pradier some very basic recipes.
While you're driving? That's so irresponsible.
Don't text and drive.
That's how Redacted rolls.
A minor fender bender could kill half this party right now.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That's how seriously Redacted takes lunch.
Yeah.
You can't skip lunch. That's what he's always saying.
Redacted themselves pretty battered and bruised. Jamfram, I mean, there's like clumps of hair coming out of you. Your stomach is like turning in and eating itself. Asher feeling the effects of the radiation as well. Zilix, maybe it is indeed a stony ride back as you watch. Your gleam scale seems to have broken free and blackened and mutated Pradier's arm. Indeed, a reminder of how dangerous and communicable perhaps the Dogangan disease is to other Extangi. But yeah, like I said, it normally has zero interaction with other species, at least not anything in the Pact worlds that has been noted on. But do you guys want to radio ahead, let Ezran know what has happened? What maybe get some medical attention ready for you?
I think that would be a great idea.
Maybe we should just like surprise them.
It's a couple hours. So you're still, it's still like the late night when you get back to the city. Ezran Shires is there ready to meet you guys with a few medics at the former command deck of the Burnished Dawn. And are you all right? What can I do anything? Leosho comes up and will assist you out of the vehicle, get you inside, and says, "Oh, the best thing to do right now is you all need to rest. Let your bodies heal themselves. Your minds stay still. But yes, in order to do that, you must let your spirits rest as well. Don't worry about the colony. But everything will be up and running tomorrow. You guys just get some sleep. Try not to think about, oh gosh, what all's happened. I mean, this is definitely the woundest, I think, like the entire party has been in the podcast history. Like, I think like overall average, if not HP damage, like disease and poison damage.
We were all I mean, I was into HP damage. I had 4 HP left. Jamfram is what Jamfram was doing. Pradier died.
I'm undead. I'm as bad as you can be.
Basically negative hit points at this point. Yeah, so as you guys get back inside and start, I don't know, maybe you can like have a quick meal or something, those of you that can eat. But as you're getting ready to rest up, Leosho bandaging some wounds, Ezran's talking to you about, taking over things so you can take your mind off it. Stepping into your quarters, quieting Ezra Shire is none other than Kel's Deirdrick. She kind of looks around and puts two and two together and looks at Prey Deer and says, It happened again. What was it? Was it the same thing that happened to Balco? She's got tears welling up and has managed to choke out these words. Anybody want to turn?
I'm asleep.
Oh, yeah. Talking to standard action. No thanks.
This is Keldrick. This is Kel's.
Kel's Deirdrick, yeah.
Yeah. Praetor says, yes, I think this is what happened to Balco.
She stomps over to you. She just marches across the room and throws her arms around you, Prey Deer, and says, I'm glad that you didn't slip away from us like him. She gives you a warm embrace.
Praetor puts maybe one arm.
Ooh, which arm?
Tentacle arm, obviously.
No, not the tentacle arm. Not the tentacle arm. And says, yes, I am here. Although it doesn't feel right. I can't see what I used to see. It may seem strange, but my head hurts because I only see this moment. I'm used to seeing many moments at the same time. I have never just seen a single one.
Oh, I'm so sorry. She peels away crying. Ezra's like, yeah, let's get you guys to bed. And you can get a night's rest. Get some good rest. I believe. Well, we'll talk about healing up in a little bit, but I don't want to forget that I think we've already used a med patch on Jamfram. I think that was the process of happening during the fight. But yeah, you guys have one more as well, and we also have Laosha that can help you with some rolls. But yeah, maybe you are in the morning woken from your slumber as there's a commotion outside. You can trundle out of your prefab ship home, and you find over 100 members of the colony kind of sitting vigil on your property. A respectable distance, but there's still 100 people, so they're making a lot of noise. Some of them are cooking up some wheat flat stack cakes, and others juicing fruits and handing out drinks, smoothies to folks. And still there's a huge crowd that when they see you emerge from your home, they've got signs out, with your guys' faces on them and things that say welcome home, Found in 5, welcome home, heroes. And the crowd bursts into applause and cheers as you come on out. Ezran steps over, still chewing on a flat stacker cake, and is like, I told them to disperse, but they all wanted to be here when you guys woke up. Woo, yay. Yay, cheers. Woo-hoo. Yay. Woo.
My friends, we appreciate the warm welcome. Believe me, we needed this.
Now, who wants a drink?
A hard drink? It's 9 a.m., Drew. I don't know.
I'm sorry. You've
just woke up.
not been a part of what we've just been through.
Have they not invented the Bloody Marys in this universe?
Mimosas all around.
Yeah, at least a mimosa. Jeez.
On the old world, they called it the hair of the dog. Come on now.
You literally just put any alcohol in fruit juice and boom, it's a space mimosa.
It's morning liquor.
Actually, I don't know, grapefruit juice and wine. Will that be a good mimosa?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. They both have grapes in them. How could that be bad?
Right. So you guys can mingle with folks. Maybe those of you that are more injured than other can just take a seat and allow people to hold Congress around you. Rebecca, you have a very needy cat now.
He's very affectionate. I've been gone for a week. He missed me.
Jumped up on you and it's give me love. That's your Sky right now. It's just clinging to you, despite being very badly dosed with radiation, sick as well. Asher, maybe pretty down in the dumps. This is a very heartening, heartwarming kind of welcome back to Viridian Colony. Maybe Laosha notices that you're lagging and says, "You have deep wounds, yes, you were hit by the same radiation that took prey deer and has almost taken Jamfram. How are you, Asher?
Yes, fortunately, my body seems to have fought it off pretty well, but I admit I'm weak and weakening by the day.
You must let your spirit regain strength as well as your body. Maybe instead of your classes, you can let some of the Ingelo sisters take over, and you will just join me in meditation at the waterfall. That could help you with your road to recovery, connecting with your more spiritual side.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. Meditation sounds like it would be very good for my soul and my body. Thank you.
Jamfram, I think maybe you have a member of the community that's like cutting up your food for you into like really small bites before they hand you the plate. Like Veach is like handing over the food, like here you go.
Yeah.
This will make it all better.
Thanks, Veach. You're the only one who's had my back.
I know. I am literally the best person in this colony to help you on your road to recovery. No, as you're being spoon-fed, Rigzar Mortis comes up to you and it's like, hey, I heard about what happened. Radiation for your kind, your living kind's no joke. You looking to step a foot into the grave here early, Jamfram, or anywhere else you can try to go recover, brother?
I appreciate your concern, Riggs. I unfortunately, I think I'm in no state to travel. But I'll be back on my feet in no time. You'll see. I just need a few days to rest. That's the ticket.
Well, they don't got no hospitals for your living kinds on this planet yet, at least not in this colony. But there's
Veach is doing a great job, aren't you, Veach?
Not at all. I think you some of this is actually getting stuck in your throat.
He's great.
Riggs is like, well, there's another option, you see. It's not so simple one there, J-Man. He'll lean in conspiratorially, kind of close and whisper. He's like, that surgery that you had to replace your lungs, well, I happen to know that there's going to be a few Ripperdocs here planet-side that can prep you for some more surgeries of that same ilk. Replace those weak pink meats with some lab-grown Eoxian black and gold. You see, my big guy, the big guy, my boss, the doc, he's due planet-side here within a day or so. And I was going to keep it a surprise, but if you want, I can have a medical lab prepped and ready for his arrival. What do you say about that?
As I've said, I'm quite well, thank you. I needn't need the services of your employer. Thank you very much, Riggs. Veach, I'm afraid I'm too weak for visitors. Please see him out.
If that dinosaur touches me, I'm gonna break his claws. Just something to consider, J-Man. I'd hate to see something as anticlimactic as radiation sickness take you from us. We both know you're here on this planet for great things. Knighthood, maybe, let me know if I'm out of line. But perhaps the gods brought you to this planet to play kingmaker with their most gallant swordsmen, or should I say sticksmen? Clubsmen.
Yes. My sword is off on Pradier's hip now. I'm stick only, baby. I'd only do sticks now. That's my thing. Thank you. I'll make sure to reach out if my health ails yet further and requires more attention.
All right. He kind of trundles off. He does that skeleton shuffle that he does, hands in his pockets and kind of leaning back.
it's like a little soft shoe everywhere you go.
He kind of walks sideways a little bit, or like a 3/4 angle. But yeah, you hear him go up to Ezra and Shire and ask, it's like, so who's the Jamfram's power of attorney? Is that you? Zilix, yeah, as you're playing to the crowds here, maybe maybe holding court and getting food and drinks handed to you. You are tackled, I guess, like mid-thigh by perhaps the shortest of the Willowanth children, who throws a hug, throws her arms around you, Acacia Willowanth, and says, "Thank you for avenging my father's death, Mr. Thel. Mother was finally able to sleep last night after we heard news that you all had come back and shut down the source of the radiation. I just wanted to say, I wanted to thank you for staying up all through the night and helping people out that were hurt by those creatures that came and attacked us and took Dad from me."
Well, you're welcome. But don't think that vengeance is always the best course of action. Just, there's a time and a place for it, yes?
I'm already starting a cult here in the colony that worships vengeance, thanks to you. Prepare for that in book 2.
As long as you're vengeful about the right things, I guess.
Yeah. Avenging my father's death. You got it. No, she seems very sad still. Her Lashunta eyes puffy, little red. She runs away, maybe embarrassed of like having come up and talked to you. And as you turn back around from watching her go back to the now smaller Willowanth family, you see Fairlet Ingelos standing directly in your way. Her, hands like on her hips at first, but she kind of drops them to her side and stands up on her tiptoes to give you a big old kiss on the lips. It's way too aggressive, Drew. Like almost knocks Zilix off balance.
How many hit points do you have left?
Well, we rested.
Some back for rest.
We rested,
yeah.
so
you took a 10-minute rest if you had.
Hey, hit points don't recover as easily.
If you have a P to spend, you can get your SP back. Yeah. Brave warriors are what this colony needs, Zilix. And you're one of the bravest, one of the wisest that I've ever seen in Viridian Colony. I want to thank you and maybe invite you to some sparring lessons. I've seen you generate a sword out of thin air, and can I touch it? Your sword. I've never seen anyone. I'm talking about the swords that you make. I want to hold it.
Well,
I want to swing your sword. Is what I'm saying. I want to practice with you. Is that possible?
I just want to touch the tips. Is what I'm saying. I just want to make the tips touch.
Oh, this has gone so much further than I wanted it to. I haven't practiced flirting in like 20 years.
If you think that sword's impressive, just wait till you see what I've got planned next.
I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing we'll find out when you talk about level 3. No, perhaps we can, once you're all healed up, we can meet at a time that's conducive to us both and do some one-on-one lessons. Anyway, I'm very happy to hear that you lived. Bye. Farewell now. She just walks like 5 feet away and is still eating like a, what I call them, a flat stacker. That's space pancakes, if you guys didn't get that.
Zilix would like to go and talk to Pradier for a second.
Yeah, you find
me sequestered off to the side. Prater is trying to stay as far away from people. Not really consciously doing it, but just is almost as if they're keeping to a shadow.
Is he standing up or sitting down?
Sitting down for sure. Can't stand.
Okay. So Zilix is going to come over and kind of pick up a stool or chair or seating implement and sit next to Pradier and just kind of look at him and say, friend, I feel like I should apologize. I don't quite know why, but I feel like it's due.
Pradier holds out a tentacle, and then you watch it warp into an arm, and then you watch it warp back into a tentacle, and then you just see it kind of flop into his lap. And he says, I don't know if you need to apologize. I don't even know what I am anymore. Apparently, I'm some kind of abomination. And if you're apologizing because I find myself in this wretched state due to your actions, then I suppose apology accepted.
Well, I'm happy to hear you say it, but I just want you to know, with all your ability to see timelines and all of this, that if I was ever in the same spot to ask myself to do the same thing again, I'd do it. And Zilix kind of gets up and walks away.
Yeah. Prater watches you go and if he just kind of flits with his arm again, and you just kind of see him sit there for maybe the whole day.
Yeah, and oddly enough, Prettier, your memories, they were always kind of spotty of anything before you recovered on Eox, but now they seem to be pretty laser focused on that massive crater that you woke up beside, the churning maw of magma and radiation. And you see, for whatever reason, the moon of this planet, you're just kind of like focused on it. Even in the daylight, you can see it here off in the horizon, this little gray dot, perhaps maybe reminding you of that place, reminding you of basically where you were reborn, given a second chance at life. And here we are out in the vast, basically as far away from that place as you can get. And you've been given another chance, a third chance, maybe more, who knows, before your amnesia kicked in. How many times this has happened? How's Prater doing besides that?
Oh, not well. Not well. He's 100% depressed. I mean, he's not initiating conversations with people. He just kind of, maybe there are a few days where he doesn't even leave bed, just kind of stays there. He, perhaps he leaves one or two times to try and take a walk around the colony as he tries to kind of remind himself of his original purpose. But a lot of the kind of ambitions and machinations that he had before, he has a hard time even recalling.
Mm-hmm.
And, his precog powers, he's having a hard time even tapping into. Like, he's trying to remember what it felt like to reach into time.
Mm-hmm.
But he's struggling to make it work.
Those powers didn't save you before, so maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they were holding Prater back.
Well, he still feels, kind of a mystic connection to something, but he kind of originally he drew his powers from, sort of the expansiveness of time and the idea that, in any singular moment we're going through something that has been gone through an infinite number of times before, and being able to tap into those times and glean knowledge from it. But now he's not quite sure where his mystical energies are coming from. And because he can't figure that out, he's having a hard time accessing them. Meanwhile, tentacle arm.
Yeah, that going for you.
Yeah. And so, he continues to, maybe you see him go to a meditation class or whatnot on one day, but mentally struggle with the changes to his body and his mind.
Yeah, and the thing that is maybe the most confusing about all this is I don't think that ever got that vision before of that happening, like dying and the radiation suffusing your corpse and doing whatever it did to reanimate it. But at the same time, it felt like you've always known what that's felt like before. Like that feels like something that a memory almost, that feeling of being connected to whatever this darkness was that was inhabiting Balco and Marnie and then you. That does not seem foreign. That seems very familiar, and maybe that's part of something like you can't even access exactly what that feeling is, but it did not feel odd, maybe not as odd as it should feel.
Yeah.
We need to talk about what the part of this episode I've marked in my notes as the road to recovery. We do have to play out some days here, as there are a few of you still suffering from the ill effects of radiation sickness. It is not affecting the lifeless body of Prater. So Tyler, guess what? You don't have to.
I get a freebie.
Yeah, guess what? Death is the way out of fortitude saves.
You're welcome.
You found my weakness.
Oh, dude,
but
I'm so happy.
Yeah, Jamfram, Asher, Sky.
I've been sitting here figuring out like all the bonuses and penalties that I've got to it.
Yeah, it is.
And like how exactly this is likely to go. So
it is, radiation sickness is cured like other diseases, but is also very different from other diseases because like remove disease typically doesn't do it. The only way really is to kick it completely is to get back to the healthy condition or to get 3 successful checks in a row. So if you're comatose, you don't have to go all the way back to healthy. You just need to go up to,
you just need to get
impaired
3 successes. Yeah.
Yes. And I think
is there anything that we can do to help these rolls for those of us that are healthy?
So yeah, so somebody can treat disease once a day when I make my check. It's just a medicine check versus the DC of the disease, which is the DC of the radiation, which I think was 17.
If you're in town with Lyosha there and other people that can aid, that DC will be able to be hit automatically.
Okay.
That we don't need to worry about too much because you have, besides like people trained in medicine, all of you that can aid. So
okay. So effectively I've got just a straight plus 6 to all these checks. So I mean by the 6 is my fort minus 2 plus 4. So
the other option is you can use these med patches because this first one will be at a straight plus 10. Besides that, I don't think there are other things besides the plus 4 from treating diseases, at least that you have access to in the lab here. So why don't you guys make one set of rolls and then we'll go from there. What's that? Fortitude checks. All right, Asher and Sky. Success. 17 on the dice.
Heck yeah.
I just realized the last rolls were. Are you rolling out of solidarity, Miles? You rolled fortitude. I don't think you were.
I wasn't
ever diseased, so got that going for you. All right, we've got
I wanted to feel included.
So I'm down to debilitated.
Toots on poor Jamfram.
Down
and
to debility.
So you were at impaired, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Rebecca, I had you. Did you also fall to impaired?
No, I was told it was dormant, like it, or whatever the word is.
latent.
Oh no.
Latent.
I thought you had gone down one more. I'm pretty sure at the very least it was weakened, but that will take you up to latent this time.
No. I was weakened initially, but then I at some point saved and it went to latent. It's been latent as far as I know ever since.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then that save will put you back at healthy. So it's only about 24 hours that you're not doing grand. But unfortunately, poor Jamfram takes a turn for the worst.
Jamfram needs to come meditate with us. It seems to be helping me.
Is that a standard action? Because I take a hit point of damage every time I do a standard action.
What?
Move actions only.
All right. Do I need to come and flood Jamfram with a bunch of nanites?
Yeah, mess things up more, Drew.
Well, so can we? I don't know what gear, because I don't know where all bonuses or negatives you're getting to things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Patrick, I guess, can items affect this roll, or is this kind of one of those things where this roll encompasses like a 24-hour period of combating the disease, and so single use items really can't apply here?
Yeah, I think unless it has like a really long duration, it's not. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it is a day's worth of resting up here, and you're not bedridden yet, which is a condition.
That's the next step.
part of a step. But I imagine you might want to stay in bed, and you do have some visitors coming to see you, not just Leo Show and other medical techs who are here that are serving as doctors and nurses and in place of actual doctors and nurses. But maybe looking out the window they cut into the side of your pod for you to look outside, you just see Rigsar Mortis hanging out there smoking a blue cigarette.
He's holding a scythe, waving.
He does a very slow, creepy wave, but that's just his normal wave, so no worries there.
Right, that's just normal Riggs.
His arm weirdly turns into a tentacle when he waves, and it's like
he's absolutely going to save your life by replacing your skin.
Make another day's check for me, Jabber. Let's see how this disease goes.
Hey, that was better.
That's a success.
All right, back to impaired.
Woo.
All right, I'm feeling better. All right, yeah.
2 more successes. You're completely out of the woods.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no. Now I'm back to debilitating.
Oh no. Is this going to be the other role for this episode? Oh no.
Oh no.
Natural one.
Now I'm back to bedridden. I don't think you go down 2 on a critical fail, do you? That's a different thing.
That's a Pathfinder or Starfinder 2e thing, probably.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thank goodness it's not out yet.
Yeah, Lyosha comes once you've taken a turn for the worst on day 4 of your recovery. That's the thing about radiation
sickness is that like around this time they look like they're doing better and then they take a nosedive.
Oh yeah. You can talk, but yeah, you cannot stand. You can't take other actions. And Lyosha comes in and says, I fear that we here in the colony do not have the adequate medical facilities to treat you, Gemfram. I worry that things might progress further and we will not be able to save you. Is there someone that I can speak with in the case of your demise?
How do I say? No, Lyosha, I appreciate the sentiments. I have no next of kin I wish to contact. I would prefer to be set to rest in a nice meadow by a creek, maybe along a river. That would be lovely. I'm getting like super melodramatic, like way before, like it's like I'm not about to die, but like, but I'm just like and make sure to give my stick to Redacted and give my armor to Silix.
I don't know what physical disease track you're looking at, but it looks pretty. It's the last 2 steps are pretty bad.
I mean, they get bad, but I think I'm just thinking like probabilistically. I think it's probably pretty unlikely that I actually fail to clear the disease.
All right,
but
but
I don't know.
Let's roll those bones.
Let's find out.
I want to see.
Those are the things. This is potentially the last things that I say to anyone.
Oh yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
Oh yeah. No. Probabilistically, 2 natural ones happen in a row. God.
That's the thing about probabilities, huh?
Are you guys ready to talk from back from the edge?
I thought we were making medicine checks automatically as part of this. Like,
oh yeah, no, they are. These are my fortitude saves.
Yeah, I mean, we can make all the checks we want. Ones, 2s, and 8s are not gonna cut it. Seal the deal.
Jamfram does not wake up the next day. They have fallen into a vegetative state.
Oh boy.
You guys find him and perhaps he can hear what you say, but not so much on the responding, the talking anymore. Is there something you guys want to say to Jamfram as he's now maybe on his deathbed?
All right, Zilix rubs his hands together, gets the nanites ready. Let's do this.
No, Drew, stop it. It doesn't work twice per season.
Well, I really was going to say Asher steps up and
put Sky on him.
Put Sky on Jamfram.
It worked. It worked the first time.
Have you not been the last few days? Have you just been meditating this entire time?
I whisper. I whisper through my coma. Now I can't go to heaven.
I can't be buried in a sanctified ground, an honor burial site. Oh goodness gracious! No, does anybody have something serious they want to say? I'm messing up this moment. You guys just got Praetor back like the previous week, and I knew this was a possibility, but this episode's gonna have a sad title as well, potentially.
We need to make it like a fake out title so everyone thinks it's like it's good news that like or like
this is the good time happy episode.
Well no, that like we make it a sad one and then they get to like Patrick surviving and they're like, yay!
Patrick surviving. Oh boy, am I?
Oh, sorry, Tyler, sorry.
Fradier.
Oh,
Fradier.
hold on.
Are you writing a speech, Taylor?
No, I'm just sorry. I'm combing all of Starfinder to see if there's something.
If there's something you can do. I really shouldn't have used my
Well,
reroll to.
I got something for you. There's a skeletal rap on the chamber door as Rigzar Mortis appears as like, I worried that this was a possibility. I've come to ask what were Jamfram's medical wishes.
Yeah, who does have my power of attorney?
Who's got the power of attorney here? Because I've got a potential fix.
Power
Praetor
of
steps.
attorney, because he's an otter.
Attorney.
Praetor steps forward and says, "Since I am the leader, and he did not name anyone else, it would fall to me."
Well, you may not know this about your friend, but I came to Jamfram with an offer. I know of a way that could save his life, and if you all are willing, I'm willing to help him out, help him get some surgeries that could see him live to fight another day. That's up to you. It doesn't seem like this particular option might offend your sensibilities. He looks you up and down, Praetor, your new undead form, and maybe there's a little bit of recognition there. He's like,
Praetor, the most emotional or aggressive you've seen him in days, says, "You are wasting time. Tell me the solution."
It's doctor-patient privilege. I don't know if I can betray his trust, but if you all trust me, I can give him a fighting chance.
Sense motive?
Yeah, why not?
Do you have, I mean, I know your character can't speak for himself. Do you have a way you'd like to influence your allies here?
I fart quizzically.
I'm just saying. I'm asking you. Are you? Did you actually fart in real life?
No.
It's so funny. It's like, I'm sorry the microphone couldn't pick it up.
No, I was like, how would Jamfram? How do I communicate across the veil to my wishes? My ambivalent wishes about. So I'll just, since there may not be another opportunity to share this with my friends, Jamfram has gotten into some debt with this Bone Ripper before, and has been trying to cover that loss here on the planet. And I don't know if sort of officially we've sort of cleared the debt, but I've been making some payments towards it. Yeah, but
so expensive now with interest.
Yeah, right. And so it's like, it's not. This would represent a great deal of, I presume, additional debt being added to my ledgers at this point, which be generally like, getting in with like a mobster kind of amounts of, debt. Like, they don't expect you to repay it. They expect you to do favors and stuff. But
I mean, on the plus side, that means he has motivation to keep you alive, right?
I mean, that's true. I mean,
money.
right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, dead people don't pay back their debts, right? So that's good. So I got that going for me.
You hear that, Tyler? You don't got to pay any of your student loans. Your Eoxian student loans. Those was a different Fradier. He's dead now.
But that said, it's I was pretty ambivalent about the choice before, and I cheated death before by getting this operation. Got my lungs replaced at low prices, and
it wouldn't offend you to have more of that done.
It would. I mean, I think it probably would offend. It was a deal that he made that he did not really think all the way through. It was a moment of desperation. And so, but that said, I have not shared that with anybody here. So, right, you guys have to decide what you want to do. That's the real trouble with not writing your wills. Everybody, this episode's been sponsored by LegalZoom. Go write your wills.
Go write your wills. Make sure your affairs are in order, because space buses happen.
That's right.
Praetor has a high sense motive, and I think he would know that taking Riggs' deal would mean substantial issues for probably both us as a group and for Jamfram. He turns to the other three and says, I have meditated for many days and I could heal Jamfram, but I need a lot of power to do so. And he says, I need you three to help me gather that, or else I have no choice but to allow this Sawbones to potentially do his thing.
I prefer the term Ripper Doc, but yeah.
All right, well, yeah. Okay, that's in game. Out of game. There's a spell.
Oh boy, Tyler and his spells.
There is a spell that completely removes radioactivity. It is higher than I can cast.
It's a level 4 spell.
But it is not so high that I can't cast it at all. But I have to get the spell gem essentially for it. We have to be able to the spell gem just has to be able to be had.
Gotta be able to be had.
It's a $3,700 gem. So
Jamfram is not stealing you, buddy.
the question becomes, can we scrap together?
Is there a liquor
37
store big enough that you could knock over?
Do you guys want to make a culture check? See if you might have a legalese way around this?
Sure. I rolled a 10 for a 14.
Why bother rolling anything these days?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that should be a 16, but I lost some stuff.
Some int.
I lost some juice.
Praetor, you recall that you've made a future lucrative trade deal with Zenelia Corporation, and it is very possible that the biolabs in that colony could have access to remove radioactivity. Do you want to try and contact them, or?
Yes.
Indeed. Once you communicate out there, it is only like 6 hours later that Gilcrew, the Riforian spokesperson for Zenelia, arrives in their very stylish spacecraft. They're super, white and gold embossed personal spacecraft that can make a very good time across the planet, and shows up, and there's a couple of medical technicians that will come with them, and he's like, hey, hello, I was told of the problem with Jamfram. I'm so sorry to hear what's happened. I regret to inform you all that I have reached out. I don't know if there is a gem, spell gem that you're looking for on the entire planet. I do have another way, though. I have a medical stasis pod loaded up on my ship, and if you all are willing, I'd like to use some of Zenelia's resources to freeze Jamfram. Try to get him back to Absalom Station. Let the doctors there see to his condition. It might be a long road. You might not have any word from your friend for some time, but we can have our labs and our doctors back on Absalom. Give him the best care that he deserves. And this is just a professional courtesy. This has nothing to do with our business deal. Just don't want to see that guy pass. It's not guaranteed, but hopefully he can get back there and get the help he needs. Yeah,
Patrick.
Yeah.
The Eoxian vision I had of the crater and the Temple of Pharasma, that was in the Pack Worlds, right? That's in Eox, right?
Yeah.
Could Praetor go?
Do you want to? I mean, you're the prime executive. This could potentially be like months away from the colony.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It takes very short. It is a very short amount of time to get back to
and then
Absalom Station. Yeah, it took you guys over a month to get back out here. So
yeah, I mean, I'm having two thoughts. Thought one, Praetor's making this decision for Jamfram, and
you're responsible.
Feels responsible. Thought two is this is the best excuse. Selfishly, this is the best excuse to get off the planet and to potentially travel the Eox and investigate his vision. And
we call that a twofer. So I think Praetor would say, please, I will come with him so that when he wakes up,
I will be there with him.
All right.
Please
Well,
take him.
if that's what you want, there's enough space on my ship for that. But yeah, you'll be away for some time. I'd say your goodbyes now and pack light. We gotta have this ship get back to Zenelia and then launch from there. So very shortly.
I do not really require anything else. And he turns to Asher and Sky and he says, when we were in the facility, I saved you because in one of my last visions, I saw, although it was very murky, that there would become a time where you were needed more potentially than anyone else. I know I technically am the prime executive, but the person who became the prime executive and the person that stands before you now, I am not the same. You are a much better guide now. So, in my absence, I name you prime executive of the colony. I am going to leave and make sure that Jamfram returns to us, and I will be back as soon as I can.
I will do my best to make you proud. Take good care of yourself and of Jamfram. Safe travels.
And safe development of the colony to you.
Yeah.
You will be a great leader.
I'm not sure if that's how prime executive works. if you're just like tag, you're it. But I'm gonna allow it. Story reasons. I'm gonna allow it.
No one brought up any bylaws to me. You know.
Kells Deirdre is like, really? I was right here. I was the runner-up. Second most votes. How many votes did Azure and Sky get? 0.
Shush! It's far more dramatic this way.
They got one each. The other, but each one voted for the other one. So,
yeah.
You guys watch as the near corpse of Jamfram is loaded up into this medical capsule, and then like it's not like ice freezing, but they are just straight up stasis frozen. This looks like technology that was taken off of the Devastation arc. This is what Jamfram was probably found in, this kind of negative time field that kind of takes you out of our dimension. I forget what their technology was called. What was it based on? It was like
rel state.
Yeah, it's like a rel state suspension. So no more saves for Jamfram for some time. But yeah, you're carted off back to Zenelia and made to prep for launch back to Absalom. And as the shuttlecraft lifts off of Viridian Colony, there's another gathering of citizens here waving Jamfram off, having heard what's happening, that he's taking a turn for the worst, holding up all kinds of signs and cheering, thanking Zenelia for doing this. The exhaust blaring across the setting sun over New Galarion. Into the sunset, an uncertain future awaits our friend Jamfram. A very uncertain future for Pradier, who can no longer see what is happening and moment to moment what could happen. The exhaust kind of like makes an effect over the setting sun of this planet. Suns of this planet that make kind of an oasis-like effect that spells out the words "to be continued" in book 2. Woo!
Yeah, we made it.
Book 2. Everyone's kind of alive.
We're already almost out of our book rerolls.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I still got mine, and it sounds like
No
I'm going to need it with half the party gone off the planet for most of the book.
Let it be known that Ron Lundeen can't take out half of this team. Only about a third, almost.
Only
Just under a third.
40%.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I promised everyone that we're going to talk about level 3 stuff, but guess what? I lied. I'm a dirty liar. We're going to talk about it at the beginning of next week's episode. I fooled you guys. We didn't even get through everything I wanted to this week.
Oh boy.
We ain't talking about.
This is what happens when we don't record for a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got to say, it's becoming a Cosmic Crit trope that Tyler at some point hands over command to my character.
To Rebecca. Rebecca's the only person that Tyler trusts in this Zoom call.
I'm honored, Tyler.
Let's just take stock of my options. Jamfram, in real state, can't help. The man who stole my sandwich, not trustworthy. The being that stole my sandwich, not helpful, not trustworthy, and the person perhaps solely responsible for my current undead format, the abomination,
saving your life.
Yeah, we forget about that.
I'm not alive. Thank you. Not actually alive.
Saving your being.
Tyler was so ready with a brand new character.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely certain.
Sorry you don't. You still have to play Pradier. I know that you were really looking forward to that, but
hey, no, I shuffled Pradier off into another system.
Pradier's going on vacation with Jamfram.
Yeah. So one way or another, I got rid of him. Yeah. No. It is sort of becoming a trope. Yes.
See, it's not a trope. It's a tradition.
It's a tradition.
The cosmic crit tradition. When's it going to happen in Deadman?
It's like poetry. They rhyme.
It's already happened in Deadman Roll No Creds.
Oh yeah, didn't it?
Yeah. She has the spider's silk.
Spider silk.
Ooh, spoilers for freebie captains. Let's adjourn this week's episode. This is a long one, another one after last week, but hopefully, storytelling wise, folks will forgive us. We're cutting this a little short, and like I said, we'll get back and actually start book 2, hopefully in earnest next week. Guys, thank you so much for playing with me.
Well, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Drew, thank me right now. Your character is very much alive. Listeners, thanks for listening. We will catch you all next time here on Cosmic Crit.
Here on Absalom Station.
You've been listening to Cosmic Crit, an officially licensed partner of Paizo Incorporated. The Starfinder role-playing game and adventure paths are trademarks of Paizo. All Pathfinder and Starfinder images are property of Paizo and are used with permission.